Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I am in a slightly different environment because I am doing, finally, my Kittens Recommend Books video. Today you guys are going to be meeting 9 different kittens, and each of them is going to be recommending a book, aka I'm going to tell you guys a book recommendation for each of the kittens. And our first candidate is being very loud today. So, I like cats, I like books. You guys seem to like my cat stuff. So I decided to make a video combining the two things that I like. And hopefully it'll be fun and there'll be a lot of cuteness. And all of the cats in this video will be kittens, so if you guys are interested in seeing more videos where I do recommendations based off of cats, then I will do that because I have lots of cats to choose from. But for this one we are just going to focus on some kittens. And obviously our first little dude is who I just showed you. So this is Nikolai, and I'm sure you guys already know from his name which book I'm going to recommend, but he is a bottle baby and he is in foster care right now with my friend. He is trying to eat my fingers. He's very cute, but he's also very loud, so I'm going to put him down to let him explore. But obviously my recommendation would be King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo, but because I haven't read King of Scars yet, I'm going to be recommending the Grisha trilogy. So I'm really hoping that I enjoy King of Scars because Nikolai is a great character and he's really fun. But obviously I haven't read it yet. So the Grisha trilogy follows our main character, Alina Starkov, and she pretty much all her life has not thought she has been a Grisha, which are people who have magical powers, and then she one day realizes that she is a Grisha, and her life pretty much changes after this. And so the series goes with that plot throughout it, and we find out that Alina is more powerful than we realize, and we are introduced to Nikolai in this trilogy. So again, it wasn't my favorite trilogy of all time, but it was still fun. And the first book I really did enjoy, so even if you give that one a try, or just jump over to Six of Crows, because I gave that one 5 out of 5 stars. Mr. Nikolai here recommends that series. Isn't that right, little man? So for the next 8 kittens, I will be moving locations, but we'll be doing the same thing pretty much. So I am going to go to our next destination and round up our next batch of kittens to talk about. So we are at our new location, and these 4 kittens are actually feral, so they aren't really happy to be hanging out with me, but that's alright. So we just got these kittens into Paws, which is the rescue that these guys are all from, 2 days ago actually. So they are still fearful of humans and learning to love. I have one of them in my lap right now though. I'm teaching her that people are good. And Sharon, who is my friend, has not named them yet, so I kind of just named them today for this video, and I named them a beach theme, so I'm sure as I'm naming them you guys will get the gist. So the first kitten I have here is Ocean, and she is a little calico girl who is still fearful of me, and these guys have been outside all of their lives, so they do have an upper respiratory infection going on. She's being such a good girl. I think I hear a purr. And so when I look at Ocean, I think of Laura Jean from To All the Boys I Loved Before. She is just a cute little kitten, and she has her priorities set on loving me. And I don't know. I just think that her personality would fit well for a cat for Laura Jean. So for little Ocean's recommendation, we are going to recommend To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. So if you haven't already read that series, you definitely should pick it up. It is about our main character, Laura Jean, and she has written these letters to all the boys she's loved in the past, and one day these letters get sent out mysteriously to all the boys, and she has to deal with the repercussions of that. And now Ocean's just letting me pet her. I'm so happy. She's such a cutie. So next we have her brother Taffy, and he is hissing at me right now. You're not happy, are you? Yeah, no, he's not happy. So I probably will not be holding him very long. So Taffy, as you can see, is a little spitfire, and he is not happy to be cuddling with me. So I'm gonna let him down. And he's in my lap, and he has no idea what he's doing. So for Taffy's recommendation, I'm going to recommend Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This has probably been recommended to you a lot, but his personality kind of reminds me of Selena's in that book, and he's just ready to fight, and he's sassy, and he's just really cute. So, not that I'm saying Selena's cute, I have no idea. And I thought that book was good, and it wasn't necessarily my favorite in the whole world, but I did give it 4.5 stars, so that is what Taffy and I are going to recommend you guys. And so Throne of Glass is about a woman named Selena, and she is an assassin, and she gets taken out of jail pretty much to fight for the king and try to be his personal guard. And so that story goes along those lines, and it was a fun, engaging read, and Selena was a character that I would describe as a spitfire, just like I would Taffy. Next we have Sandcastle, aka Castle, and he's a little better. He's not excited, but he's being a little better than his brother. He's a rascal though, as well, as you can see. These guys are still pretty fearful of humans. Ow, and he's clawing me. So I'm probably gonna let him down so he isn't mean, and he just wants it down, so I'm gonna let him down. But I actually have to think about a recommendation for him. I'm not quite sure yet. Luckily, I have Goodreads handy. So for Sandcastle, I'm going to recommend Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn because he scratched me, and so his nails are really sharp. But also, that is just a good book. So Sandcastle is going to recommend it, aka I'm going to recommend it. So Sharp Objects follows our main character, Camille, and she has been away from her hometown and her family for many years, and she finally has to go back to write a story about a missing girl in that town. And so during this trip back to her hometown, she reconciles with her mother, who she hasn't talked to forever. She meets her new half-sister. She kind of just gets back into the town and is trying to solve this mystery while also dealing with all the crap that's going on at home. And this is a very short novel, but Gillian Flynn is a really great writer, and she did a really great job with this one. So despite its length, it was really jam-packed full of information, and it was something that I really enjoyed reading. And I've actually enjoyed all of her books, so I would recommend any of them, but for this specific kitten, we are going to recommend this book. Now, the other kitten is hiding, and I don't want to disturb Taffy because he's in my lap. I could probably show you. He's in my lap. He's cute. But I need to get his sister, so I'm gonna have to disturb him. And also my tripod is falling. No. So last but not least of this crew, we have Coral, and she, like her sister, is being tame, except now that I'm talking in her face, she's not happy. She's pretty cute, I would say. And her eyes are the least skunky. She's adorable. So she is also kind of sassy, but she stands up for what she wants, and she doesn't want to be bossed around, but at the same time she isn't really minding these cuddles right now, so she's doing what she got to do, huh? For Coral's recommendation, I'm going to recommend Truth Witch by Susan Dennard because I get Sophia vibes for Miss Coral here. I'm gonna put her down. Sophia is our main character in that book, and she is very outspoken and sassy, and she speaks her mind, and she does what she wants, and she also has a sister that is more docile, and that would be Ocean in this case. So I just think that this book fits Coral's personality, and it's also one of my favorites favorite YA fantasies of all time now after reading it. So I would definitely recommend it. It follows our main character, Sophia, and is what we'll call her. Iseult is her name. And they are both types of witches. We have our truth witch, who is Sophia, and then we have a thread witch, who is Iseult. And they, at the beginning of the story, they get in trouble and they have to figure out some things, and there's just a big plot that I can't even really explain very well, and I think that you should just go into it without knowing a whole lot, as I did, just knowing that it is magic, fantasy, YA fun time with two very strong female lead characters and a budding romance that I live for. So for the last 4 recommendations, I have to move one more time, but I'm going to spend a little time cuddling these guys. And then I'm going to go get the rest of my recommendations from the other 4 kittens, who I think you guys will remember from my contemporary-a-thon vlogs. Like I said, I'm sure you guys will remember these kittens from my other vlogs. And they are very cute and very excited to be in this video. So first we have one of the twins, who I just call little girl because she's the only girl in this litter. And she is just so cute. And I think it's a girl thing to just be wild and crazy. So for little girl's recommendation, we are going to recommend the Saga series. And this is a graphic novel series that is freaking amazing. And one of the main characters is Hazel, who is the daughter of Marco and Alana. And she is a wild little thing, and little girl reminds me a lot of her. So we are going to recommend that one. And pretty much, Saga is a series about 2 characters, Marco and Alana, who fall in love, and they are from opposite or opposing races in a war, and they cause a lot to go down in their governments because this is a no-no, and they have a baby, and that would be Hazel. And so we are following their adventures as outlaws, and it's just a great series. There are 9 volumes out so far, so definitely check them out. Again, one of my favorite things of all time is Saga, so it's a really good one. Next we have Little Lynx, and I know I'm very creative with his name because he is a lynx point kitten. And he is very loud despite the fact he is not making any noise right now. So I would say he's a very outspoken kitten, and he speaks his mind. Isn't that right, little man? And so for his recommendation, we are going to recommend The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, because Star in that novel is very outspoken and she speaks her mind. Isn't that right? So if you haven't read The Hate You Give yet, it is about our main character Star, and she witnesses one of her friends getting shot by a cop, and that is the general plot of the story, and we follow the aftermath of that and what happens, and how Star copes with this occurrence. And it's a very powerful book. I read it for Contemporary-a-thon and gave it 4.5 stars. I think that it was really well written, and I understand why it got all the hubbub it did. So definitely think you should check it out if you haven't already, but I know I was someone who was very behind on reading it, so that might be the case for you too. The third kitten from this litter is Little Boy, and he is my favorite. I'm not trying to pick favorites, but he is the sweetest, cuddliest little man. He's proving me wrong right now, though. And he is a snowshoe, and he's just adorable. But he is so loving and adorable, and there is another book that I read recently that I also think is very adorable, and that is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is probably one of my favorite books of the year, and I loved everything about it. It was so cute. It was just a really great book. It was well written, it had great characters, it had a great plot, and I just think that it fits Little Boy's personality very much, and I also just want to recommend it because it's great, and I'm sure a lot of other people have recommended it to you guys because it is a good book and you should read it. Little Boy is letting me give him belly rubs right now. I am complete. So there is one kitten left, and he is the shyest of these guys. So I'm going to have to find him because he does not want to come to me. And his is probably the most difficult to recommend a book for because he doesn't really have a personality. He's pretty chill, and he doesn't do much. He's gotten more playful. And he is the twin to the girl, and I call him Baloo because he is a blue point. And so I'm so creative, right? You are not a feral kitten, so I don't know why you're being a jerk. So last but not least, we have Baloo, and he is freaking the frick out on me. I don't know why. He is being worse than those feral kittens, don't you think? Yeah. So I'm gonna let him down. So I think that he is wild. I think he is wild, but he is calculated, and I think that it would take a unpredictable yet calculated person to be a Scythe. So that is the book that I'm going to recommend, and that would be Scythe by Neil Shusterman. If you can't tell, Lynx is crying in the background. Like I said, he is very outspoken. And so if you haven't heard of Scythe yet, it is about a society where they have completely gotten rid of general death, and you can come back from pretty much anything with technology, but obviously to control overpopulation, there is still a way that you can die, and that is if you are gleaned by a scythe. And so scythes are pretty much masters of death, and they are the ones in charge of taking care of killing people. And so in this book we are following our two main characters, Rowan and Citra, and they are both chosen to be apprentices to a scythe, and only one of them will get to be an actual full-blown scythe at the end of this. So Baloo kind of reminds me of Rowan in a way, especially if you've read the book you understand, but if you haven't read the book you should read it so you understand. So those are the recommendations for the 9 kittens that I showed you guys today. I hope you enjoyed seeing their cuteness and also getting recommendations for books. I don't know if you guys have read some of these. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with their recommendations for their personalities, or if you haven't read them, let me know if you would be interested in reading them now that you've seen this video. And also, again, let me know if you're interested in seeing more recommendations from cats, because that is definitely something that I'd be willing to film and do. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to see more of my content in the future. I hope to get out more fun and exciting videos this month, but we shall see what happens. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!